Weakness invites aggression in corrections. Now, I don't mean that we are going to be aggressive and physically abuse an inmate, but I do mean we need to protect ourselves. Hi, I'm Gary York, True Prison Stories. Please subscribe if you like this video. I'm getting messages from different agencies across the country that outside pressures are causing some higher prison administrators to bow down, for lack of better words, and say, okay, you don't want handcuffs on inmates during internal movement. We can do that. Well, the more we give in to these things, the more we are placing our officers in danger. Do you not think that when we are internally moving inmates from one place to another, they cannot attack us? Thank goodness the place I just retired from makes you handcuff inmates for all movement from one dorm to another. Okay? I understand in state prisons now there's movement to medical and dental and so forth, and they look at a list and they're free to go to their medical call themselves. But I'm talking about having to move an inmate for a certain reason and the officer physically going over to get the inmate for movement. Take them out of their cell for a specific movement. They need to be handcuffed, folks. I want to talk about why, if weaknesses in our system make the inmates more aggressive towards us. If the inmates start to see that they're winning the battle, hey, we don't have to be cuffed anymore. Hey, I don't have to do this. I don't have to do that. Hey, CO, fuck you. I don't have to do anything. What are you going to do about it now? That's what starts to happen. And then the inmates become the aggressors. We lose control of the inmates. And I don't mean being super cop, RoboCop, I'm the toughest cop in the world, I'll beat your ass. I just mean making the inmates follow the rules without losing control of the inmates. But we're losing control if management is not allowing us to write up an inmate for doing something wrong, cuff an inmate for doing something wrong, lock up an inmate for a period of time for doing something wrong, for safety of everyone. Okay, I still call it administrative confinement. Let's place them in there and figure out what's going on so we can protect other inmates, protect civilian staff, and protect uniform staff. Once inmates see that we are slacking up on enforcing rules, making them do what they're supposed to do, they will start taunting correctional officers. They'll taunt us, find our weakness, and make us explode. And once we explode, anger is not a sign of strength. When we go off the deep end because we're so angry as an officer, the inmate has won the battle. That's what they want to do. They want to get you off your tilt you off your access, and get you to go berserk. And then they've won the battle. They think that's funny. Then you'll make bad decisions. You'll lose your grip. You'll lose your train of thought, and you'll make the wrong decision. That's why it's so important that we have to control the inmates by using discipline, policy and procedure, and the inmate rule book. But if they think the inmate rule book is a piece of junk and they just laugh at it because you don't enforce it, you've lost control. And I know that most of the frontline staff know what I'm talking about. The vast majority of you do. How do we get management, upper management, past your captain, past your floor sergeants, past your floor lieutenant, past your floor captain, those guys in the ivory tower, so to speak? I mean, they have an important job to do, and I may be poking a little fun, but come on, don't forget where you came from, and don't let outside pressures influence us into taking away tools officers have to protect themselves. The rule book, discipline, handcuffs, shackles, even locking them in a cell, an administrative investigation cell, until we can find out what's going on. If they need to be disciplined for 30 days in a cell, then that's what we need to do. If we need to take away privileges from the phone, canteen, and so forth for a while, that's what we need to do. But it seems to me that a lot of agencies are going backwards and taking all those tools away from the officers. That's when you're going to have more verbal threats against officers, more physical assaults against officers, more officers losing it because they have no way to control the inmates because you're taking it away from them. And when an officer loses it, then they're scrutinized and they're fired and they're even charged criminally. We don't want that. We do not want that. Nobody likes that. Nobody wants that to happen, except the inmates. Oh, the inmates love it when you lose your shit and you get fired or you get written up or you get charged criminally. That's what the inmates will do. But we need help, folks, from way up above. Stop caving into those outside pressures. And I'm not talking about abusing anyone. I'm talking about doing what's right. Because guess what? When we discipline inmates and make them do what they're supposed to do according to policy and procedure in the inmate rulebook, we're not just protecting staff. We're protecting other inmates who don't want to participate in that junk. They just want to do their time and get out. Because unruly inmates harm everyone, other inmates, civilian staff and uniform staff. Just think about this, folks. The front line has been crying for help for a long time now. So when I'm speaking, I'm trying to speak to the ivory tower folks. You got to do something to help your officers. You can't leave them on an island by themselves. Okay, don't leave the officers on the island to fend for themselves, and then when they have to make a decision, scrutinize them to death and try to find out why they should be punished. When you got the inmate over here attacking the officer because you took away the handcuffs during inmate movement. We all have to be a team. Everyone has to work together and function together. Unfortunately, in some places, I'm seeing it go opposite of that. We have to do something, or the staff shortages we're seeing now, where you're at 60% staff and you should be at 100, that will continue, I guarantee you. Please look into this problem, management. Back your officers. Of course, if an officer does something wrong, abuses an inmate, brings in contraband, does something wrong, yes, we're going to get that bad apple out of there and punish them. But I'm talking about inmate discipline is going out the window to me in 2024, and it needs to be reinstated. Thank you for watching. Gary York, True Prison Stories. Please subscribe.